afraid to express his own opinions. For those of you who've read his columns and listened to his radio show, he sometimes has disagreed with me. I asked him about those comments, and he said, "You should have heard what I said about the other guy."
President Bush was not talking about me. That was Tony. He was talking about Tony Snow. And the new press secretary position that Tony has accepted, thus vacating his position at Fox News. Welcome to the Kevin McCullough MuscleHead Revolution videocast. We're glad to have you with us. It's a brief recap of what we talked about on the show. If you want to listen to the whole show, click over to the Pod Plus button on the sidebar. It says Pod Plus. We've got all 3 hours of the day from today podcasted there for you. Easy downloadable formats, or you can listen right off your computer screen, right where you are. You don't even have to go anywhere. What did we cover on the show today? Several key important things. One was we got into an argument over whether or not I should do any more coverage of American Idol. Look, I'm doing talk radio. I got to talk about things that I'm interested in. So I'm going to talk about things that I observe, things that strike me a certain way, and last night I happened to have some opinions about what happened on American Idol. So I talked about it. You want to weigh in? KMC@WMCA.com. The other thing that we made mention of is that last night the Tribeca Film Festival opened, and United 93 kind of stole the show. It was the first night that this film has been debuted, and according to all the reports that I read, both in Variety Magazine, FoxNews.com, and others, said that the people that were sitting in the balcony, the friends and the family members of those that were on United 93 who had been invited to this screening, just absolutely weeping at the end of the film. But every one of them, to a person, at least of the ones that spoke to the press, said that this is an important film. It honors the memory of the ones they loved, and America needs to see it. So go see United 93. It opens this weekend. The other story that we got into, and it was by far the most controversial story. Oh, we also had special guest Andrew Napolitano on. His book is Constitution in Exile, and I highly recommend it. I don't agree with everything that the judge says, but I do think that it's worth reading. He says that government's gotten too big, and they're taking things away from the American people that they have no business doing, like telling a company you can't call your product ketchup if it's got too much sugar in it. Weird stuff like that. It's a good read. Great interview. Check it out. It was in hour number 2 of the broadcast on the Pod Plus podcast. You can check that out personally. Also, the other big story that we talked about, and this was the one we took the most calls on, had to do with this story out of Blackjack, Missouri. This particular story identifies a group of people that are calling themselves a family unit. Olivia Sheltrack and Fondre Loving, I'm not kidding you, those are their real names, have 2 illegitimate children through their union and a 3rd illegitimate child of Olivia's from yet another union, all wanting to move to Blackjack, Missouri. The only problem is, where they want to live, they have to get an occupancy permit. The occupancy laws in that city state that unmarried peoples and unrelated peoples cannot cohabitate over a certain percentage of the population within a certain living arrangement. Their 5 people in the place where they're trying to live is considered overcrowding. The problem with that is they don't like it. So they've gone back to the town fathers and said, we want an exemption. Town said, no, you're not related, you're not a family unit, you can't violate the occupancy laws. Now they have an easy option. All they have to do is go down to the Justice of the Peace office, sign a little piece of paper, fork over $50, get a Justice of the Peace to say man and wife. They go back, everything's copacetic, everything's taken care of. Did they decide to do that? No. They went to the ACLU. They would rather sue the city that they wish to live in and create for themselves a lot of legal headaches and probably spend a good deal of money to resolve this, rather than just get married. And that brought me to what I talked about in the McCullough Punch. Why on earth would we choose to do that? Why would you take the route of going the way of fighting the system when for $50 you could give your children the married parents that they deserve? Doesn't make sense to me. I'm Kevin McCullough. I'm hoping that you'll join us each weekday for the video cast that we've got here on WMCA.com, the MuscleHeadRevolution.com page. Come on back next time. We'll have more. Do these 2 or 3 times a week. Plus, the McCullough Punch commentary down in the sidebar. You see that video every day now as well, too. I'm Kevin McCullough. Have a great night. Back tomorrow, 2 to 5 Eastern on the radio show and on the V-Cast here on MuscleHeadRevolution.com.